Hey everybody, so what are we talking about today? We're talking about squat depth because it's easy to fool yourself into thinking that you're getting deep enough and you're really not. So as an example, I used to take a lot of pride in doing body weight squats throughout the day. I had an office job, and then at various times throughout the day I would just do some body weight squats. And I felt almost like I was just ass to grass, and then actually saw how deep I was squatting. I was doing like, I don't know, a quarter squat, half squat, somewhere in there. It wasn't much. It was nowhere near what I should have been doing. And if you see things on the internet where people are like, look at me squat 500 pounds, like a lot of these things are just ridiculous. They're nowhere near hitting depth. High school football players are probably the worst. Like they'll do a box squat and the box is set up so that they bounce off of it when they've done like a half rep. So, hey, I'm not trying to bag on other people's workouts, but I'm just saying that if you think you're hitting depth, you might not be. So today we're going to set up two cameras, one right at my knees and then one that is showing my overall form. And I just want to see if I'm hitting depth because honestly, I'm not totally sure that I am. So this is going to be a bit of an experiment, but also a reality check for people. Even if you're working in a gym full of mirrors, your eye level can deceive you into thinking that you're hitting depth when you're really not. So without further ado, today is my squat workout. Let's see how it goes. So I decided to do this particular episode thinking that my squat depth was good. As it turns out, it's not. So if you just look here, I'm not hitting depth. I'm like 15 degrees off. Now, I wish I could say that this got better as I added more weight, and it didn't. I was consistently 15 degrees off all day. So it didn't matter the weight. I just was always 15 degrees off. And this is the problem. Like in your head, it feels like you're deep, but in reality, you're not. Like I'm just 15 degrees off the entire time. So what can I take away from this? For one thing, I kind of made a mistake. I wanted to do my work sets at 230 pounds. I ended up doing them at 235 instead, just because of math. I didn't put on chips. I put on 5-pounders. But the weight actually felt fine, and I feel like the weight is not a problem for me. But now I just really need to focus on depth. I need to set up a camera. I don't know, maybe I'll set up a camera and a video monitor so that I can see this stuff happening in real time in front of my face, but I'm just consistently 15 degrees off. So I didn't hit depth all day. In fact, out of all these reps, I didn't hit depth one time, not once. So this is just a perfect illustration of how delusional you can be about how deep you're getting. And it's hard to see. I mean, when your head is up 3 feet away from your knees, even if you're looking at yourself in a mirror, it can be kind of hard to tell. So I know that powerlifters just have done this so long, they can just feel in their body when they've hit depth. And I'm very new to all of this. I feel like my bench press is going great. My work sets the other day were 195. I'm breezing right through them. I'll be hitting 200 here, probably in a week or two for my 5x5 work sets. But my squats, this is really the first time I've done them with weight. I did some body weight squats and maybe literally tried to do squats maybe 2 or 3 times in my life prior to starting all this stuff back in the spring. So the reality is I don't really know what I'm doing with squats. Like I don't know what a good squat feels like. In my head, I can't tell. So I do know now for sure I have to get lower. I think I'm going to have to try and get my weight back a little bit more, try and stay a little bit more upright. It's been a challenge from the very beginning. I thought I had this fixed and figured out, and I really didn't. So the very first times that I did this, it was kind of funny because I was doing these things and they felt great, and then I would look and it'd be like, instead of 15 degrees off, holy cow, it's like 30 degrees off, or even like 40 degrees off, barely doing like a half squat. It was ridiculous. So what can you do? You just do the best you can. So this gives me something to work on. I'll stay at this weight. I feel like 235 was good. I might even be able to do more weight, but the thing is, obviously, if you're not going to complete depth, then you're not getting what you're supposed to be getting out of the squat. So it takes more work to go low. In fact, the way the leverages work out, the lowest part of it is the hardest part. I mean, the top part that I'm doing and that all the quarter squat reppers do is the easiest part of the whole thing. It's where you're down in the bottom, where you've got your upper thigh and it's perpendicular to the earth, so it's working completely against gravity at that point, and you're getting no help from leverage. So you are just having to move the whole thing by yourself. So I just need to get lower. I'm not sure if I really have a strategy here. I think I just have to go even lower than this. I can feel at the bottom of the rep that I'm maintaining tension in my legs, and I obviously need to let myself just get a little bit lower. So this is disappointing. We have setbacks. So it's like my deadlifts have been going great lately, and my bench press has been going really well. I'm starting to get to where I almost have like a relatively respectable bench. I'll be doing my 5x5s with 200 pounds here. And then you realize that you've been doing shallow squats. So you take the good with the bad, and it gives me something to work on. So maybe in a little bit I'll be able to present basically this same video, but instead of all my reps being terrible, maybe it'll actually be good. So have a good workout, everybody. We'll see you again soon.